I don't even know. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. I don't even know. Mm-mm-mm. What's up, y'all? Oh, cannot sleep. I'm laying up in bed and I'm tossing and turning and stuff. Came out here to the garage, put the heaters on, and I'm like, you know what? I'll see if anybody else is up. What's up? How are you guys? Man, y'all need to be sleeping, but you're on here with me. I guess we're all a bunch of losers together, huh? Ah, yeah, yeah. uh, you know what? Today's been a long day. Grow that beard back. You're the only person that's actually told me that, man. Everybody else is like, you look 20 years younger, and they're loving it. You're the only one that has said anything even remotely close to the opposite of what everybody else has said. And how about you ask why it's not there anymore instead of saying to grow it back? That might be the proper way to ask a question and get a message across. If we're being politically correct. No. I've already covered this in like 5 videos where I was actually making fun of myself. My skin broke out all around here. And the skin started to flake, and I couldn't get lotion and oil to it fast enough for it to actually start to heal. So I had to cut it off. I wasn't going to let it get worse and just deal with it. So. Oh, there we go. What do you think I'm trying to do? I'm trying to grow it back. When you cut it off, what ends up happening? If you don't keep cutting it off, what's the byproduct of that? Growing it back, right? Captain Obvious? No, because I'm not working right now. I've been home doing projects at home and been stuck at home going stir crazy. So I've been working out a shit ton. I've been eating like super healthy. I've been doing projects around the house trying to get everything done. So when I do go back, everything's caught up and I ain't got nothing to do. Like honeydew stuff, which probably never ends, but any regrets on the power rack? Not at all. None. It was a cheap power rack. I bought it for like $400. It's like an $800, $800 power rack, and it's been everything that I've needed. Not so much carnivore diet. No, I do add veggies in from time to time, but predominantly carnivore. Yes. Um, I don't. I don't make my personality what diets are. Some people live and die by calling themselves this or that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in identity politics, just like I don't believe in identity diets. I just don't. Eat as close to natural as possible, which is proteins and fat. And I throw veggies and stuff in there every once in a while to keep my digestive system kind of cleaned out and move through. And fiber, although it's not everything it's cut out to be, it does help bind things and move things through. So I eat green veggies. I will eat yogurts and stuff like that. I will eat berries, things of this nature. I just won't eat processed, highly processed foods. I won't eat fast food. If I do go to restaurants, I make sure I'm getting something really clean, like a steak or some kind of like Greek salad or something like that. And I only drink water and coffee. I'm down, I haven't checked yet, but I'm assuming I'm probably down around 75 pounds, 76 pounds as of, I usually weigh myself every couple of days just to kind of keep track of where I'm at. Sometimes I only do it once a week, and then sometimes I won't do it at all until I see the doctor next time, and it's like a surprise. So. Yeah, I lost over 100 pounds doing carnivore and keto. I went an entire year doing nothing but animal products, and my body was super healthy. So, I mean, I've done all that stuff before. If you guys don't know, before I came here, there's a lot of people that follow me here that have followed me a lot longer than you guys have. Even the first person that followed me on this channel, I have a few people on here that actually followed me from back in the day when I was doing keto and carnivore, and I have my own group. I still have it. And I was running other carnivore groups as well, teaching other people how to do it. And back then I was super healthy. It's just, I gave up on it, and now I'm back at it. I know it's late. Willing to take a truck question? Of course I can. You just ask whatever you want, man. It's open mic, whatever. Chris, sleep well, man. I mean, 90% of the people that have said stuff so far, or more, probably close to 100% have said the shaved look looks better, but I actually like having a beard, so I am growing it back. I just needed to heal what was wrong with the face. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about jacked. I mean, I was big and strong then, but even before that, even before you followed me when I was at the Ford dealer, I was even 20, 30 pounds lighter than that, and I was even bigger. That's when I was jacked. But you guys don't, a lot of you don't remember that. That was way before this channel even came along. I mean, I'm still pretty big, don't get me wrong. I'm just fluffy. I mean, I still got 20 some inch arms or whatever, so 20, maybe 19, 20, somewhere in there. I mean, which is not small, but I used to have like 20, 22 and a half, 23 inch arms. I would just pound arms every day almost. No, the baby, well, at first when I came out of the shower, the baby was fine. For like, 5 minutes or so, I played with her, and then I had to leave right away. So when I came back, she was sleeping. When she woke up, Mom brought her in the kitchen and gave her to me, and after she had that fresh sleep and then looked at me, and she's like sitting in my arms, and she's looking down at my face, and she's like, oh, no, 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 no. Get me away from this guy. I don't know who this is. She did not want to be in my arms. It took her about 10, 15 minutes to realize the dad making all the goofy noises that only dad makes. I've got all my nuances that I play around and joke with her. She was able to figure out within 10, 15 minutes, oh, that's my dad. So, I have a relationship with her that nobody else could mimic. It's just, Yeah, so before that, even, the real slow hand, way before that, um, I've got a couple ladies on here that followed me from like the keto carnivore group, the one that I helped build like hundreds of thousands of followers and stuff on Facebook. And then when the creator of that group, the original creator of that group, came back from college, it was all ripped out from underneath me, even though I built that platform for him. He said, see you later, I'm taking charge of the group now because I own it. Boss man, do you think those ladies will get people to flip Chicago red? Oh, they're already working super hard to do so. 17, pop the code for a molded lead frame fault. Are these parts available for Motorcraft? Any thoughts on Ford pulling a recall? So here's the thing. They are working on expanding recalls on the later models because now they're starting to see more and more issues with the 15s and 16s, as well as in the Transits as well with the 6R84, the molded lead frame, the input-output shaft, speed correlation stuff. So they're working on it now. They're starting to get more and more and more reports on the molded lead frames on the later model 6R80s being an issue also. I just did a molded lead frame on one that my coworkers, I took his valve body and stuff out and did it at work in a few hours, put a new molded lead frame and stuff in there, and his was a 15. He had talked to the guy at National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, and they actually reached out to him because he did a report stating that he had this molded lead frame issue. And that guy was like, I wish everybody did the same report that you did. Whenever you have a problem like this, go online and report that you had this problem, and it starts building the case. But people don't want to take the time to do it, so they never get the recall established. Well, this guy says they're actually working on extending the recall from past like 13, 14, into the later models, but they need more people reporting that there was a problem. So I fixed his truck. It stopped neutraling out and stuff on the highway, and then just, and then I did a couple Transits with the 6R80s. I put lead frames in them. Technically, to answer your question about are parts available, most Ford dealers that do have parts, they probably have 10 of those molded lead frames. They don't want to get rid of them. There's actually like a stop sale or something from the dealer to the customer on those parts. I got lucky because I talked to one of the parts guys that I do a lot of business with. I buy a lot of parts from, and he was like, yeah, I got like 10 on the shelf. I got one for you. Just come by. It's like your price because you're a dealer tech and you guys have an account with us. It's going to be like, $175 or something like that. What you then turn around and sell it to sales for, because you work on used cars, it's like $225, $240, somewhere in there. So I got all my parts from them, but then when I went to show up to get it, the parts manager was pulling the parts. And he was like, wait a second, how come you have a lead frame here and you don't work for Ford? You don't work at this dealer? And I said, my parts guy that I deal with here, he's the one that said, that I could come by and pick it up. And he said, okay, well, you got lucky. Because he said, now I'm going to need the VIN number of the vehicle because I need to track the vehicle that it's going into, because I need to justify selling you, the customer, this lead frame, and I have to report this to Ford that this lead frame was used in this vehicle because they're trying to track all this. I wasn't supposed to sell you this lead frame. This was supposed to stay on our shelves until Ford releases these to the public, and they're not supposed to be released to the public. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm going with it is, I'm married now, so it's just, I need to get myself back together, and that's what I've done is I've taken control of my life again, and I'm doing what I need to do to get myself healthier, and that's just how I'm doing it now. Cutie, huh? I'm referring to the baby a cutie. What do you think about God and your path in life? I believe in God. I believe that Jesus died on the cross for our sins. Technically, when you break it down from a philosophical, maybe not even like just a religious standpoint, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are supposed to be all considered the same thing, even though they're different entities. So it's confusing to some people because they say, well, Jesus and God are not the same, but they are the same, because depending on who breaks it down for you and how you're learning religion, it's all coming from the same person, but your spirit is in your body, but it's different than your vessel, your flesh, your bones and stuff that you're actually living through, your organs moving and stuff. It's completely separate. So it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And whenever they say stuff like this, it's confusing to some people sometimes, because they say it's all the same, and then they turn around and say it's all different. So it just all depends on what you believe. I believe Jesus died on the cross for my sins. I've been baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I have been baptized in a war zone. I've been baptized here. I'm a born again believer because I stopped believing for a little while. I was having trouble believing because I didn't understand why God would put us here on this earth and then allow so much devastation and destruction and killing. And but then I realized that it was not up to him. Whenever the creation was created in the beginning, Adam and Eve were given the option to live a sinless life, and they sinned by taking the fruit from the tree. Eve listened to the serpent, and then Eve conned Adam into basically doing what he wasn't supposed to do, and this bred sin into the world. So it just all depends on how you want to look at it, but I do believe. Lang is a good brand. Taps into, yeah. Good morning, 7:41 here. Not here. Here it's what time is it here? It's 1:46 here. How many times have you done those Explorer all-wheel drive intermediate disconnect TSBs, and is it a pain to do? Oh yeah, I mean, if you look at my YouTube videos on it, I've got more videos on it than anybody else on the internet, so you're bound to run into mine. It would almost be silly if you didn't. And I give you full breakdowns on exactly talk through and the size of the nuts that I take off, and exactly what I kind of did, and walk you through some of the computer programming stuff and how to find it. After you do the first one, the rest are cake. They're super easy. Looking for a new cargo van, Chevy Express. Any issues with their engines and trends? No, the Chevy Express, especially a 4.8 liter, doesn't have a lot of power, but they're almost indestructible. Church is the man or woman, if they accept God. I struggled with that the same while I was doing my last tour in Iraq. Yeah. Us humans cause destruction. We are not robots. God gave us free will. That's true. What's my workout routine? Whatever I feel that day. Honestly, I don't have a routine. I just do it. Afghanistan broke me of the programming. Yeah. No, tonight's not a heavier night. Tonight's more volume work for me. I've been doing kind of heavy-ish all week. I'm not doing the heavy stuff tonight. I don't want to embarrass you. I don't want to embarrass you over there, cave for life. Trust me, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, buddy. See all this man juice come out, and then you might run. And you won't comment anymore. I need you to comment. What I'm trying to do a lot of is I'm trying to work the areas where I'm going to have a lot of loose skin. I'm trying to focus on those areas the most because as I lose weight as fast as I am, I've noticed that I am going to have some loose skin. Um, my legs are getting really skinny fast. Like I can see, I'm starting to see the veins and stuff in my legs. A lot of the cellulite and stuff I used to have on my hamstrings is almost all gone. Now the front of my quads is starting to get real thin. My waistline is getting pretty small very fast. It's the upper portion around the man boobs and the gut and stuff like that. So what I'm doing is I'm pounding back as much as I can. Diet keto? No, I think you probably missed it earlier. You probably came late, but no. I do a blend between keto and mainly carnivore. I eat a lot of meat, but lately I've been sticking more to fibrous green veggies. Like in the afternoon, I'll have a chopped salad, which is chopped purple cabbage, chopped green cabbage, some broccoli, carrots, radishes, and I'll have a can of beets and like a Chobani 20 gram of protein yogurt. I'll have 2 of them. And then for dinner, I might have like a pound of some type of meat, pound and a half of some type of meat. And then some days I don't even feel like eating because when you do a lot of carnivore stuff, you get really full and you just don't feel like eating a lot. So it actually starts to help put you in a fasted state because you've got enough good fat and protein. Your body's not really craving things that it doesn't need. I only drink coffee and water. I don't drink any sodas, no juices, none of that. What do you think of DST? Do you think it's stupid and we should stay on a standard time? I mean, I don't see any changes, to be honest with you, with daylight savings time, other than my sleep gets fucked up for a little bit, but if I sleep anyway, which I don't even really notice that. In general, I think daylight savings time is stupid. I count my calories. I don't do that shit. I'm not counting no calories. I listen to my body. I just eat, let my body tell me what to do. I'm way under what my calories are supposed to be by far. I'm somewhere like to sustain my metabolic rate is somewhere around 32 to 3600 calories. I'm probably ballpark somewhere around 1800 to 2000. I'm like way under my calories. But the problem is with the medication that I'm on, the phentermine, I can't eat a lot of food no matter what. So it just controls your appetite so well that if you eat too much or too early in the day, you feel nauseous and like you want to throw up. So I can't even eat until like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's my first meal. So I fast for like, most of the time I fast for about 18 to 20 hours before I even eat my first meal. Dude, count your calories and work your muscles. We talked about that. I'm getting to 60 soon, and I do high reps, 25 a set more. Got to protect those joints. Stop the workout and diet suggestions. Chris knows me. Eventually, I start getting really tired of people doing like the diet and workout suggestion stuff, just because I know what I'm doing. I cover it so much. I know what works for me. It does get annoying when people keep throwing stuff out there constantly, and it's like, obviously I'm showing you that I know what I'm doing, and I'm probably working out more than a lot of you, so I start getting annoyed with the suggestions. But I don't, at the same time I don't mind it either. But Chris gets it. Eventually it gets annoying. Appreciate that, Jason. Good night, boss. Cindy, good night. Paul, thank you. How's your strength on low carb? Or it went down. It did. It went down. I'm not gonna lie. Sugar and carbs are very good for explosive movements, but then as you continue to practice mainly having a protein and fatty diet, your strength starts to come back. You have to stick with it and push through. Do you do squats too, Rich? I will do squats, but right now I've messed up my knee. But no, I love doing squats. I lose typically about a half a pound to a pound a day right now is where I'm at, for the most part. Now there are some days where I stall out and the scale is exactly the same, but then 2 days later, all of a sudden it's like, damn, 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds down. All right, that's awesome. So okay. I love doing back though, man. I love doing just regular lat pull downs or anything with back because that's where a lot of my loose skin is going to be at my waistline and my back and my sides. So my back has got substantially bigger over the last like 6 weeks, just pounding the weights, doing a lot of volume work. Oh yeah, yeah. I started at 377. I am 315, something like that. No, 312 or something like that right now. Um, when I was back at the Ford dealer and I felt really healthy, I was like 268. When I felt my healthiest, I was at about 250. But that's when I was really fast and I was extremely strong. So, but I'm not built like other people, though. Honestly, if you go back and look at my pictures when I was, but if you see some of the pictures that I showed you when I was in the military, when I was 255, people were like, "You look like you're 185, 190, just built." No, I was 255 pounds. Like, it's extremely easy for me to put on muscle mass. That's not a problem for me at all. The problem is losing the weight. So at 255, I was just fucking big, you know. Wasn't chiseled. I was just big. Like, huge back, huge arms, huge legs. My quads were the size of freaking... Looked like you could just lay your head down on like a pillow. They were huge. Calves were huge, everything. I wasn't cut up and chiseled, but that's just how I'm built. In the military... Even though I was like one of the highest scoring guys in the PT test, I do like 150 plus fucking sit-ups or something like it was nothing. And then the push-ups, I'm like 80 to 100 before I quit because at that point I've already maxed out the push-ups. And then I'd go do the run. I do like the 2-mile run. I'd end up doing like a 14 and a half 2-mile run. And I basically aced the PT test every single time, had no problem while everybody else was failing that looked super healthy compared to me, that was smaller than me, I should say, didn't look healthier, and they were failing shit, but I still had to go get taped. I had to get my neck taped, my waist taped, and I would pass all the time. And then, you know, our doc, we call him Doc, our medic that did all the taping and stuff like that, would update first sergeant and be like, no, he's good, man. He's fucking PT stud and he passes the tape test and things like that. So even though the weight doesn't match what the height weight standard's supposed to be, everything else checks out. So we got to just leave him alone. How much is your medicine a month and what medicine is it? My uncle pays $600 a month for Zepbound and he's lost quite a bit. Zepbound works, Wegovy works, Trizepatide works. I wanted Trizepatide because Trizepatide is supposed to be the best stuff on the market right now with like little to no side effects. But it's like $1,400 a month for it. My starting weight was, for phentermine, which is 37.5 milligrams of phentermine. It used to be an ADHD drug that gave people a lot of energy. It helped them hyper-focus on stuff. Kind of lined them out a little bit with their ADHD to stop them from bouncing all over the place. But then they noticed that there was another effect to it. People didn't feel like eating when they were on it. So when I take it in the morning, I could be dog shit. Like, worth of, can't do nothing. Like, just out of it. And I take it. And like 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, I'm like, whew, I'm awake. Let's go to work. I'm good. I'm good. It's like the legal version of speed. You don't think about food. You don't want to touch food until later in the day, way later in the day. After all the work's done and you're starting to wind down, about ready to come home, that's when you start getting hungry. Some people that are on it say they just flat out can't eat because it makes them so nauseous when they do eat, and that they still feel the energy effects all the way to bedtime. Me, I don't feel it all the way to bedtime. About 2, 3 o'clock, it's all starting to wear off on me. Rob Luswig, my favorite American doc, he knows what he's talking about. Calories in versus calories out is BS. Eat real food. Yeah, calories in versus calories out is bullshit. I mean, to some people it may work, but to the majority of people that have some type of metabolic syndrome, calories in versus calories out is like it's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard anybody say. You'll talk to people like these bodybuilders, and they'll tell you that shit, and like Michael Hearn and stuff like that, calories in versus calories out. The new young dude that's on the roids, that's all big all the time, he's got the curly red hair or something like that. He's always wearing like sweaters and ball caps because he's afraid of women. Or I called him out on his bullshit. I seen one of his Facebook posts, and he was like, "Oh, just eat less calories than what you're expending." No, 1,000 calories of fucking Skittles is not the same as 1,000 calories of steak or broccoli. Quit with the bullshit, man. You guys are like full of shit. Go ahead and eat 1,000 calories versus of Skittles every single day and expect to do the same that broccoli and protein would. Like in weight loss, like reduction of calories, and you're using all garbage to do that. Their theory is calories in versus calories out, regardless of the quality of what it is. You're still going to get the same result with weight loss. That's not true, because whenever you eat sugary, carb-heavy foods and stuff like that, your hormones are taxed to the max. Insulin, cortisol, all this stuff, and you have to sit there and fight through your body processing this inflammatory substance out of the body. That's not the same thing as your body processing amino acids and fatty acids that basically your whole entire body is made of. The calories are not the same. So calories in versus calories out, it's the most bullshit way of analyzing things in general. And that guy's good. Rob Lustig is good. But I like Dr. Eric Westman and Dr. Jason Fung. And there's another doctor from back in the day, something Wolf. I forget his name, but those guys are like the original pioneers along with Lustig. Dr. Eric Westman's probably the one that I look up to the most. He really understands what's going on, and so does Dr. Jason Fung. Dr. Jason Fung is like one of the leading what do they call it, nephrologists or something like that. He's big on fasting to cure diabetes and different other ailments. Appreciate that, slow hand. I'm trying to keep it up. Nice. Submitted a complaint to What is this cave for life? What's going on? Why do I keep saying viewed messages? Is he's still being a butthead? I'm gonna try to go back to sleep. Take care, buddy. You carry 250 pounds solid. It sounds great genetics for building size. Yeah, I mean, I when I get down to 250 pounds, you guys will never believe it. You're gonna look at me and be like, well, "Fuck, maybe 200 pounds max." No, it's just how all the men in my family are built that way. Thank you, I appreciate that. Carl Stevens says it looks nice saved, but Mustang says, "Girl it back." Oh, that sucks. Yeah, what is that? That lime stuff or whatever. After you get bit by a tick, then you're all screwed up with like meat, certain types of either proteins or something. I don't know. If it doesn't come from an animal or a plant, don't eat it. Yep. Keep pumping, brother. Keep pumping. I just watched your vid on the Lincoln Town Car. I'm going to look at one tomorrow. Good, man. If you have any questions on it, let us know. There's tons of Lincoln Town Car people here. There's tons of Panther platform people here in general that know the Grand Marquis, the Crown Vics, the Town Cars. These guys on this channel, they're probably some of the most knowledgeable people on these vehicles, the Panther platforms in the entire world. They typically have dealt with them and bought more of them than other people have. I have one guy on here that I think he's still got like 12 or 13 of these things parked in storage, and he just cycles out which ones he wants to drive. And he can tell you every single thing and almost every single part number on everything that you need on the car, and it's absolutely ridiculous that this guy remembers all this stuff. 136,000 is really nothing for a 4.6. I mean, I got one out here that I'll sell, but it's going to come with a premium price because it's going to have a 3000 stall converter in it. It's got a Yukon HD locker in the rear end, Richmond axles. I've went through the engine and redid everything. It only had 60,000 miles on it when I went through and put all new timing chains and valve seals and all that crap. And the car practically looks like it's brand new. I just got to get around to putting the transmission back in it. And I thought about selling it. I thought about it. I don't know. Probably not, though. I don't know. Trying to work on the reverse grip stuff because the tennis elbow and reverse grip curls with just a bar seems to be more than sufficient, and it's really helping work that tennis elbow out. And I've been feeling a lot less pain with doing reverse grip curls with the bar in that the tennis elbow area where it kind of all comes together right here. There's almost no pain there at all now. I want to do some back before I go to bed. Well, look at the guy that's got my Lincoln Town car, the one we donated the car to, the single father with the kid, you know. Well, single father, obviously, with the kid. Um, he he's got like 270,000 on that town car. Still running great. Still running great. No issues. Other than regular maintenance, brakes, tires, things like that. I think he had to put an AC compressor on it, which was pretty expensive. Nathan, well, you guys probably don't know Nathan. He had a black town car, like an '04 or an '05. And when I first met him, we became friends pretty quick because he was local. We both had similar cars. That car had a new PCM put in it, and they never changed the miles to the actual miles that were on, or no, it was a cluster. They never changed the cluster miles to what was actually on the car. So there was a crack that formed in his bell housing where it started to corrode in a certain spot, and it would make noises every once in a while when he would go to get on it. That crack would pop back and forth in the bell housing or in the transmission. So he got rid of it. He junked it. When they got it to the junkyard, I guess he knew the dude or something like that. They hooked it up to a computer to figure out what the readout and stuff was, how many miles, what they were expected to get, if they listed parts online, how many miles were on this engine, how many miles were on this transmission. The car had over 500,000 miles on it. The cluster had been changed, and the mileage in the PCM was still ticking. It had like 530,000 miles on it, and it was still running great. The only reason he got rid of it was because the bell housing of the transmission was cracked and it would make noise every once in a while when you'd get on it. It was still running. It's coming along. It's the knee isn't completely healed, but it's like, I would probably say at least 80% better. It feels a lot stronger than what it did. Oh. Oh yeah. Appreciate you being here, man. Thanks for watching the videos. Hitting the sack. Need to take my youngest daughter to work on her rifle before. Oh yeah, important. Got to get that stuff done. Best cars ever made were Ford Crown Vic, Mercury Grand Marquis, and the Town Car. Absolutely. Most reliable, I think, in my opinion, and best driving. They had the potential for power too. Ford could have done a lot of. They could have done a lot with that engine, and they didn't. They wanted it to be reliable. They wanted to rely on us figuring out exactly what was supposed to be done. Well, you see some of the Ford modular prototypes. There's some of these prototypes that are 7-point-something liter freaking engines that came from that same era, where they were like prototypes, or they were special built from the vehicle, something special development unit. People end up with these vehicles and they're like, yeah, this thing dynoed at like 550 horsepower, 600 horsepower, and it's all naturally aspirated in. There was only like 4 of these things in the world, and I ended up finding one for like $70,000 at some museum that they were selling, and it's like, what the hell? Why didn't Ford ever put that in a vehicle? People would have paid huge money for that. Oh. And then somebody shared the other day on the Thunderbird. It was like a Thunderbird or a Fox Body group. They had a Thunderbird. There was a couple of them made, or it was one that was made or something like that, and it had the 32 valve 4.6 liter with the supercharger that came on the Cobra in a Thunderbird that was made that way from the custom team or custom build at the factory. It was all factory stuff. Can you imagine how beautiful that would be today to see those running around the street? A Thunderbird, the SC Coupe style with a 4.6 32 valve supercharged engine that was built that way from the factory. It was so gorgeous, and it sounded so good. And the Thunderbirds actually performed better than the Fox Bodies because they had a little bit wider of a wheelbase. They missed it completely there. They could have done so much with that car as well. I don't know. I buried that guy in the backyard somewhere. Oh, those Cougars were nice. What was it, the XR7 or something like that? Was a supercharged 3.8 liter? That was a nice car. Yeah. Yeah. I think the most impressive car overall, to me, just to me, and it's not cheap, performed okay, was my style. Was the last year the notchback Mustang was produced. I loved the 93 notchback Mustang. I had a just a pure white one with gray interior. It had a 273 gear set or something like that. It was a highway gear in the rear end. It had a GT40 upper and lower intake. It had the GT40 heads. It had shorty headers, a bigger throttle body, some type of bigger injectors. It was tuned properly, and like an underdrive pulley setup and stuff like that. It had a high flow fan assembly. It was a very nice street car. I had so many people try to pull up next to me in that and be like, you know, that thing sounds great. It's just sitting there. So I get some Integra that pulls up next to me, or some damn turbocharged Civic, and they're wanting to take off, and sometimes they'd get me about, a half a car length off the line. But once that thing would start to hit 40, 50 mile an hour with those 273 gears, all you seen was the speedometer go, and I'd pass them. I'd be gone. 120, 130 mile an hour, no problem. It'd start to float a little, but nothing would keep up with me. Even with the highway gears, that car would just take off and go. What's up, Mr. Roland? Yeah, I miss that car. I've been seeing a lot of Fox bodies lately. I seen one in Cincinnati or something like that today. It's a supercharged 540 horse 306 cubic inch with head work done, intake work done. The whole engine's been gone through, roller rockers, the whole nine. I think they swapped it. Either it was a T56 or something swap. It was a better trans. The rear end was done centerline axles or something like that, and it had like the Ford Racing LSD and stuff in it. The guy wanted like 12 grand for it. You've got 12 grand in parts alone for that, plus the price of the car with it being as nice as it is, that's another 10, 12 grand. At least. Could have sold that car for like 17, 18, but he's got it up there for like 12 grand. Ooh, starting to burn. Appreciate that. Yeah. Tell her thanks. I appreciate it. I need all the following I could get, man. Channel kind of stalled out for a little while, and then it just took back off, and now it's starting to go up nice and steady again. Passed away. Modified, called it Project Power. Huh. Down the street here, there's a, what did Ford call that green color? It was like a turquoise almost. It was a real pretty looking green. There's a guy that's got a 92, 93 notchback. I think the daughter said it's the last year, so 93. And we were trick-or-treating. We stopped by his house, and I seen the car in the garage, and I was like, man, I've seen that car a couple times passing by. That car is gorgeous. And she says, yeah, it's my father-in-law's. That thing is extremely nice. It is not modified at all. She said it's only got like 17,000 miles on that car. It's an all-original notchback in like mint condition. He won't let nobody touch it. He's the only one that takes it out and drives it around the block a few times or up and down the road just to kind of get fluids moving and stuff. Then he cleans it, puts it right back in the garage, and then it sits there for another month before he does it again. And she said that car, he'll never get rid of that car. And it's still got all the factory stuff. It's never been molested, modified, changed. And if something did go bad, she said he'd find Motorcraft and put Motorcraft right back on it. It wouldn't have anything else other than what Motorcraft sold or recommended. I bet you that car probably sell for like $25,000, $30,000 in the condition that it's in. It's still original. Paint's not faded. Interior super clean. Oy. The back is starting to tighten up. I've been working back too much lately, but I love doing it just because of the loose skin. I had a 93 notchback Mustang. I got it from a sergeant first class on Fort Polk. I paid $2,800 for the car. It only had 65,000 miles on it. It had an exhaust system and just some odds and ends, like little upgrades. There was a dent in the hood, was the only thing that was wrong with it. There's one dent with paint missing right in the hood, about the size of a tennis ball. And I never touched it, I just left it alone. I drove that car for a while. I stopped by, what was it, Best Buy, that does the stereo systems. It's either Best Buy or something like that, and I had a bunch of money saved up, and I said I want the best stereo system that you can put in any car. I want it in this car. I want it to sound good, but I'm more interested in clarity. I don't want any bass. Yeah, I've already, yeah, shit. Everybody's asking me questions about this. I've explained this so much in the last couple days, it's been unreal. I started to break out on my chin. I had to cut it off so I can apply ointment to the area. That's the gist of it. I'm growing it back. It's just, I had to do what I had to do. Anyhow, I went by Best Buy. I think it was Best Buy. It was a stereo shop or something like that. And I said, I want the best sound system that you can put in this. I don't want subs or anything like that. I just want nice 6x9s, whatever's in the door, whatever they were called in the Fox bodies. Then I didn't get into the stereo stuff. I want a nice head unit. I want, if you can put a couple tweeters in here for that popping clarity sound. They said, we got you. What we'll do is we're going to go with a Clarion system. It's going to be about $2,600, $2,700. That was a lot of money at the time. That was back in 2010. But they went through the whole car. I mean, they had door panels off. They put Clarion speakers in it. They put Clarion tweeters in it. They put a Clarion head unit in it. That car, the system in that car sounded so fucking clear. It was like you were at a concert. And they put the tweeters in the right spot. They had like a sound optimizer that they would actually move around the car to figure out where it was triggering it the best at the highest rate. And that's where they set the tweeters, about 3/4 up the pillar, and then they kind of hit it around to the side. And the sound system in that car was just badass. Very clear, very nice. Cost me a lot of money. But he said at the time, Clarion would have been the best sound quality that you could get. So I wanted the best of the best put in that car. So I did all that. Started taking the car to the track, running it on different types of fuel to see what I could get out of it. I had a guy that would tweak some things, timing and stuff like that, and try to help me learn more about the car. I ended up getting it down to a 13 flat. I couldn't do better than a 13 flat with a lot of the stock stuff that was there, just with some minor modifications. I wanted to start getting into some of the heavier modifications, but I couldn't because I was going to work to pick up my wife at the time. I was married to another woman, an Asian girl, Indonesian girl. I was going to pick her up from work. She didn't like driving for some reason. She wanted to be dropped off and picked up. I don't know. I had 2 or 3 cars at the time. Actually, I had a Volkswagen Golf. I had the 93 Mustang, and I had a Dodge Ram. And she didn't want to drive the Golf, and she didn't want to drive the Dodge Ram, so she didn't really want to drive at all. So I was going to pick her up from work, and there was a guy making an illegal left turn through a turning lane. So picture this. There's a left turn into the McDonald's. There's a Walmart right here. There's a stoplight right here. The only thing that you can do at this stoplight is you can only turn left into the McDonald's, or as you're coming towards that light, you can turn right into the Walmart or the little restaurant that's right here. In order for this lane, the oncoming lane towards you, to turn into that Walmart, they have to drive down the road. There's an opening in the intersection. Turn lane kind of jives over, and then you can turn in. What did the asshole do that was coming at me? There's like 4 cars waiting to get into the McDonald's, right? So the first 2 cars, they inch forward, creating enough space in between the back 2 cars. I'm coming here along this lane. There's 2 cars stopped, space, 2 cars. There's a guy coming this way. He's got a big pickup truck, and he turns in between those 2 cars, and instead of going down the street where you're supposed to turn to go into the Walmart, he wants to do the little shortcut and cut into the restaurant right here and then go through the restaurant parking lot into Walmart. So he turns through, and as I'm cruising down the road, I had no time at all. I was doing 45 mile an hour. I yanked the freaking e-brake. I got the car going sideways. I shoved the e-brake back down. I fucking matted it. I'm black stripes all over the road. I come around this guy's truck. I'm about to clear the truck. He's got a trailer attached to the truck. And you couldn't see the trailer because 2 cars here. There's a space. 2 cars here. He's turning in with the trailer along those cars. I'm in the outside lane over here. So as he's turning through, I get the car sideways, pull on the e-brake, jam it back down, come around the back of the truck as he's clearing. There's a trailer right there, attached to the fucking truck. Yeah. I clipped the back of the trailer, just barely missed it. Pushed in the front radiator support, busted up the bumper, fucked up the light and everything. I was so pissed, man. I got out of the car screaming, and I was like, my fucking car! I've always wanted one of these, and I'm screaming, man. So, the cops show up. They're coming after me, and I don't know why. I didn't do anything wrong. They're literally trying to blame it on me. I get on the phone, and I call my aunt, and I'm like, I just got into an accident down the street from your house, and my uncle and my aunt, my uncle and my aunt, they're big names in the town that they live because they're bail bondsmen. They've owned companies and everything else. They're very well known. They often speak out against the local policies and stuff that their town is trying to impose upon the people. So they're very outspoken when it comes to what is people's constitutional rights and not. And they're very well known. I wouldn't say they're powerful people, but they are. They're very well known. Their name goes very far. And I call my aunt up, and I'm talking to my aunt on the phone, and I said, yeah, I just got into an accident down here in front of the Mexican restaurant across the street from the McDonald's. Some dude was making an illegal left turn over a double yellow line, and she said, right there in front of Walmart? And I said, yeah. She says, hold on a second, I'll be right down there. She only lives 3-4 minutes from where I got into the accident at, because I live right down the street from her. So she comes down there and she pulls up in the parking lot, and she pulls in the parking lot. The 2 police officers are standing there questioning me, trying to press me, saying it's my fault and all this. They're making it seem like it's my fault. They're not saying shit to the other guy. And my aunt gets out of the car and she says, Ronnie, what the hell, man? She knew who it was. It was her fucking cousin. And my aunt was like, you turned over that yellow line right there to go into this parking lot. And he said, yeah. And she looks at the cop and she says, are you fucking stupid? If somebody's traveling straight in a lane that they're supposed to be in, and this guy's making a left turn over a double yellow line that he's not supposed to make it, how in the fuck would it be his fault? This is my nephew. And the cop's like, oh, I didn't know that, Lisa. I knew this was your cousin, and I'm sorry. Let's come over here. Let's talk about this. So they go over and they talk about it. And all of a sudden, it's reversed now. Now it doesn't look like it's my fault anymore, because now they're actually listening, because they were using the good old boy system, because they knew her cousin. They knew the name. So they were going to let him off the hook and basically pin it all on me, instead of actually doing what they were supposed to do as police officers and look at the scene, look at the case, look at what's going on. What's the most logical reason why this accident happened? They were going to put it on me, but they didn't know I was actually kin to her as well. Yeah. Doesn't it? That's a story that you could tell people in general that just makes you realize how corrupt some of the police are, or the system is in general, not just the police, the system in general is in some of these smaller towns. They will literally try to get away with murder, and they can get away with it. They can, especially if you know somebody or you got a big name. They were automatically going to try to pin this all on me until they found out that she was my aunt, that was her cousin, and I was the nephew. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, it's not his fault. Ow, that hurt. Hit myself in the head with a freaking bar. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if you guys ever had any experience like that, but I've had a few pretty nasty experiences with police officers overall. I used to leave my house at the same time every day. I would drive out to Des Plaines. I was at a diesel mechanic on the big giant buses, the ones that carry passengers back and forth in Chicago, like the big CTA buses. Oh man, that heater works fabulous. I got 2 heaters going right now because it's really cold here tonight, or this morning. I could probably turn one of them off, but I'm kind of enjoying the extra heat. I would leave the house. I'd leave the house. I'd head out to Hertz, where I worked on the diesel buses. And I'd get on the interstate the same time I'd see the state police officer get on the interstate. And me and him we'd go to the same speed almost every single day. He was going to work. I was going to work. Normally they try to get to their station that's off the side of the highway somewhere and check in, do all that other stuff, blah, blah, blah. They have the same routine that they do every day when they start work, right? So he'd start to go to work and I'd start to go to work. He must have been some kind of supervisor, because not only did he get to take his car home, he had like I don't know if it said supervisor or something on the car. Something reminded me of him being a supervisor. But we would cruise the same speed, the same time every day. And he never, even if I was going just a little bit faster than him or he was going a little bit faster than me, I think we just actually recognized and noticed each other every single day. There's a couple times we actually waved at each other as we were getting on the highway at the same time. And for some reason, this day, this dude, he was just having a bad morning, I guess. And I got almost to work, almost to my exit, Toohey Avenue. I almost got all the way to Toohey. But about a mile before that, he starts creeping up on me because he's going 70 mile an hour and I'm going 73, 74 mile an hour. Something like that. He starts creeping up out of nowhere. And he puts his lights on and he pulls me over. He comes up to the car and he's a complete fucking asshole, man. Raising his voice at me, acting all tough. Automatically my PTSD starts kicking in. Automatically I feel like I almost have to start getting defensive. I start having a little bit of a PTSD episode. I felt like I was getting attacked for no reason. And I felt that it was completely unjust. And he pulls me out of the car and obviously he can't find anything on me. And he says, oh, you have a CDL? And I said, well, isn't that what it looks like? And he says, oh, so now we want to be a smartass, huh? And I said, well, you asked me a dumb question. It says there's a fucking CDL endorsement right on that license. Why would you ask me a dumb question like that? And he says, so, okay, come here. And he pulls me to the back of the car and he throws me up against my car, pulls my hands behind my back, he cuffs me and I'm standing there and he's got me shoved up against the car with his knee in my ass and he's like searching me and stuff like that. And he says, how does this feel? And I said, it fucking sucks. And he said, Mr. CDL, I think we're going to have an issue today. And I'm like, what kind of issue is that? And he said, I guess you like your CDL, don't you? And I was like, of course I do. I have to have a CDL with the job that I have. And he said, I don't know if you'll have it after I'm done with you. And I was like, what? Took me out of the cuffs and he said, stand here at the back of the car, don't move. He goes back, he writes a bunch of shit up on a ticket, I don't even look at what it is. He comes back and he says, sign it. And I said, I'm not signing that shit. He said, okay, you don't have to sign it, but this is your court date at this time. And I says, okay, I'll go to the court date at that time then. And as I'm going to get back in the car, he's acting real tough and he's bowing his chest up at me and stuff like that. And he says, don't worry about it. I'm one of the ones that will show up. I'll see you there. And I said, man, you're a fucking asshole. And he said, what did you say? And I told him, I said, you're a fucking asshole. You're being a complete fucking prick. And you're getting tough with the wrong one. Because I'm not afraid to go to jail for your ass. I'm not. And he laughed at it. He shrugged it off and got back in the car. So what did I have to do? Because I have a CDL, I have to find a lawyer now. So then I found a lawyer. He wanted to charge me $600 just to show up, but he was already going to be in the courthouse that day anyway. So it was not an inconvenience to him. He charged me $600 to walk from one room to the other. He walked right in the room. He went up to the prosecuting attorney, and he says, psh, 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 psh. He whispers all this stuff, goes and walks in another room. Here I am being called up. I get called up. He's not even there to represent me. The judge says, go ahead and sit back down until your lawyer shows up, or attorney shows up, whatever the hell he was. So I sit back down. Finally, the guy shows up. The judge knows him very well. And he says, Mr. Riker, or whatever his name is, come up here. So he goes up there and they start whispering back and forth to the prosecuting attorney and stuff. And they come up with an agreement. And he says, all right, Mr. Paso, come up here to the stand. So I walk up there and ask me a bunch of questions that he says, you were speeding with a CDL. Even if it's just a few mile an hour over with a CDL, that's a big deal. When you have a CDL, you really shouldn't be speeding at all. You should be doing the posted speed limit. And I said, yes, Your Honor, I understand that now. And he says, so what we're going to do instead of, because this is your first violation with a CDL, is we are going to give you an equipment violation. Like a muffler or whatever it would be, kind of something like that. We're going to let this slide. We're going to make it an equipment violation so you don't get marks, or the marks aren't as bad on your CDL. And when you leave here, you're going to go down there to the cashier all the way at the end of the building, down that hall. There's going to be some fees and stuff that you've got to pay. Make sure you pay that today before you leave. So yes, Your Honor, sure thing, I'll take care of that. Thank you for not hitting me with the book, basically, right? So the cop's over there smiling. He leaves. My attorney leaves. He goes to another room with some other case that he's working, which he's working several cases. And I go down the hall to do exactly what I was told, because I'm a good boy. I go to the cashier and I hand this paperwork and stuff that they gave me. And she's like, yeah, it'll be $985. And I was like, $985? What are you talking about? It was an equipment violation, like a bad muffler or something, or a loud muffler. She said, yeah, you got to pay court fees, you got to pay this fee and that fee and the equipment violation fee, and $985. So you have got to be out of your freaking mind. So I paid the $985. I left, called the lawyer back up. The lawyer answers his phone and he was like, I can hear it in your voice, you're pissed. I said, you're fucking right I am, man. You just drugged me through the fucking mud. You charged me $600. You walked in there for 5 minutes and said some stuff and then left. You came back late and I had to wait for 20 minutes before they would even talk about my case because you weren't in the room when you were supposed to be there. And then on top of that, you didn't prep me for anything. You didn't tell me what to expect. You told me jack shit. And I had to go down there and I'm blindsided by a $985 bill for an equipment violation. And he was like, I'm really sorry, man. It's just how the system works, man. It's just how it works. Unfortunately, I have no control over it. You have no control over it. We just agree to their terms and we move on about our business. You didn't get the infractions on your CDL. Be very thankful that it was only $985 because sometimes it's double and triple that amount. So I said, so basically you got people by the balls with a CDL here in the state of Illinois. That's how you guys screw the system. Is you pick on people like me, tax-paying people like me that follow the law, that met a bad cop or met a cop with a bad attitude one morning and decided to make my life a living hell. He was like, you know what, I understand your frustration and it's very valid. The next time you have to go to court for something like this, it doesn't matter what traffic violation it is with a CDL, call me up.
I'll probably be somewhere around that courthouse at the time because it's my most busiest courthouse that he goes to or something like that. And he says, I'll do the next one for free. Didn't keep my CDO, so I never had a reason to use him again. The problem with me was that I was getting defensive. I had 7 cops with lasers on me. Yeah. You have that on the bigger jobs, right? Do you know a fix for a Chevy Trax 2019 info system draining the battery? Yeah, pull the fuse out of the radio. Audio control module, the front, or the radio. Just leave it out. Because those things are junk. I mean, I'm not trying to talk bad about your car. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't own a Chevy Trax if you paid me to own it. I hate that. That sucks, Anthony. These fucking guys, man. They know what they can get away with. They know how to screw us. They know how to take our money, and then they don't show up for it, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, but I got to charge you again because I had to do all the paperwork and get everything set up." And fucking assholes, man. Scumbags. The real life version of what a scumbag is. Trying to get over here so I can turn one of these heaters off. I'm going to be gone all day tomorrow. I'm going to go out and see my mom for her birthday. Her birthday was the 31st. What the heck is this? Oops. Sorry. Oh, I didn't know that folds under. Yeah, I'm about to as well. I'm going to let this heater cool down and then I'm going to go inside and lay down too, if I can even sleep. If I can't sleep, then I don't know what I'm going to do. The whole system is that way. The insurance, medical insurance, auto insurance, extended warranties, lawyers, the judicial system. I mean, if anything tells you how corrupt I can't even say it, the judicial system is, how in the hell did that woman become a judge? Why does that thing say error? The new heater says error. It's not even running. It's supposed to be running right now. Did it run out of fuel? Why did that? See, well, I wonder why the new heater shut off. It's got diesel in it. Maybe I should put some more. Let's see if it starts up. Yep, 2 a.m. live. Yes, sir. Couldn't sleep, so I came out here. Well, you sleep. I sleep well. Almost 2 a.m., but it was just 1 a.m. Hard to try to sleep right now. Yeah. Yeah. Well, this thing is, I need to go in anyway. I was going to wait for this heater to cool down. I may as well just go ahead and shut this heater off and just go inside now before it's too late, because I got to get up at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Let me shut this heater off before it gets fired up. I got to get up 7:30, 8 o'clock and drive an hour to go see my folks. I'm going to go out and cook them breakfast and stuff like that and see how Dad is, I wish Dad was doing better than what he is, but I guess I haven't updated you guys in a while on that. Pops is, he's doing all right, I guess. He's got medical issues. Fluids starting to build up on the legs and stuff, and his diabetes real bad, the neuropathy real bad. He's got to take all these like high strength fluid pills and stuff now, and he's able to get around and get to the bathroom and stuff like that. If he wants to cook himself something, he could barely do that, but he's getting around, and it scared me because the other day he asked me to come by. He asked me to come by and go over his will and stuff like that, and gave me a key to the house and told me how he wanted all the money and stuff divvied up, and money that was in like retirement and all that, and who got what percentages. And it's scary talking to your folks about stuff like that, because it makes you feel like real unsettling, you know, or real unsettled. But you got to have the conversation. When it's time, it's time, and at least we had it, and I know what to expect and what he wants. So I'm glad that we had it. Then 3 a.m. here in PA, 4 a.m. without the time change. Evening from Baltimore. What's up, buddy? How are you? In the gym, trying to work out a little bit before going to bed. I couldn't sleep, so got to get out here this week and clean this garage up, reorganize everything, put all the Halloween decorations away, and all that good stuff. The baby, she's growing like a weed, man. She's got 3 teeth that came through, and she's got like 2 or 3 more teeth with giant bumps right on the front of her gums that are coming in right behind them. She's got to be in so much pain. Yeah. Now, I got a question for you guys. Well, some of you are still here. Cheap rolling here. My phone went dead. Oh, what's up? What's up, Robin Williams? Cheap rolling. Got a question for you though. Me and my editor have been playing around with this idea. What if I did a dedicated website, the Ford Boss Me website, where it's not on YouTube, it's not on some Play app or whatever that you got to go do this and that and everything else. I'd still keep the YouTube channel, but I want to do something like a 5-part, 6, 7-part introductory to mechanics, like what tools and stuff you need as a beginner, what you can step up to, what different types of electrical testing is, what different types of um, fuel systems are in specific vehicles and why they function the way that they do, the emissions control stuff, how to diagnose these different components, and basically just lay out a full start to finish on what it takes to get to working as a mechanic if you want to go through different types of schooling or whatever it is, then to what type of tools you need and about what to expect price wise and how to budget shop for that, and then getting into um, how to approach different oil changes because not all systems are the same, and then why tire rotations and stuff are important, what it can do safety wise to the occupants and stuff of the vehicle. Um, just complete start to finish on what it takes to actually maintain your vehicle, like as a DIY person or a mechanic wanting to come into the field and actually get started from A to Z, like the whole shebang. And then if that takes off fairly well and there's enough people interested in it, I don't have to make as many videos on the regular YouTube channel anymore. I can focus more on the actual program. Um, Once I get that all straightened out and sorted and adjusted properly, I'd take suggestions from you guys, obviously, how to make it better and stuff like that. I could make specialty content. Um, like I could take the F-150. You guys know the 2015 to 2017 F-150 is my favorite F-150, and I simply have one here. I could start to dissect that truck piece by piece. Like, this is how you remove the door panels. This is what we experience sometimes when the windows won't roll up and down. These are where the wires typically break. This is how you remove the radio from it. This is the type of programming you need to program the instrument cluster or the body control module or whatever it may be, and go through the truck from like front to back, showing people like pretty much everything about the truck that you, as an F-150 owner, between this model from this year to this year with my program, will be able to go on it and find everything under your 15 to 17 F-150 and exactly how you're supposed to do it, exactly how it comes apart, exactly the tools that are needed, exactly the programming software that you'll need, and I'll show you how to do it. Like every step of the way, how to remove the center console, how to remove the dash from the vehicle, like the whole entire process. But that content is customized content. So after the base program gets set up and everything is rolling on that, then I could start to focus some more time onto the custom stuff that's custom tailored to the individual user, like the DIY people that want to know everything about their specific vehicle. Then I can actually break that down. But what that would look like, though, is it can't be free. Programs like that where I'm taking myself, the 75% of my time away from YouTube and I'm focusing on an actual online program that actually benefits not only new mechanics, but the DIY person as well, other shops and stuff as well. I have to charge for that. I can't just do that stuff for free. And I can't do that stuff for free on here either because YouTube is becoming less and less lucrative. So it'd have to be like 10, 20 bucks a month or something like that, where you actually paid a subscription to be on that platform doing it. Because what that does is that keeps you up to date on any new stuff that's put out. It keeps you up to date on any new programs that come out, any new training or something that comes out, anything new that I find, or I go to a seminar and I want to help you guys understand what I learned at this seminar or this schooling. Some people have flat fees, like 200 bucks, you get access to the whole entire website. Well, when new stuff comes out and you got to revamp the website and you got to put new postings and stuff up, there's no custom stuff to it. It's just the same stuff over and over again. That 200 bucks for the website, just it gets old. It's just some basic information that just basically gives you an idea of how to be a mechanic, but doesn't show you a whole bunch of anything. Doesn't tap into the actual streamline from like point A to point Z. And then if you wanted custom content about your specific vehicle, everything like your own video manual, of how you could go on there and figure out, okay, how did Rich say that you got to remove this door? Let me rewind. Let me rewind. Okay. Oh, that's what I missed. I put that in the wrong spot. Oh, that's why the door is not working. I didn't hook that up correctly. Let me go back and do that. Well, custom content, if somebody's wanting custom content, that's going to have to be something like 30, 40, 50 bucks a month, because that's dedicated time that I'm going to have to spend on a vehicle for weeks upon weeks upon weeks, if not months, making that content specifically for that vehicle. And when I was talking to my editor about it and stuff like that, he was like, dude, this is a great idea. This could help so many people out. At the same time, get you away from all the BS and stuff on YouTube, where you can actually focus on putting out good quality content, focus more on your family and less on YouTube and putting out social media content. And this could almost be streamlined. Like after you work on this for a year and a half and get it all lined out, straightened out, videos put up, custom content put out, you could almost walk away from this thing and let it run itself. Just put out videos every once in a while on YouTube, just to keep people notified that you're alive and this is where you're at. You're gonna do some light car content on there every once in a while, but focus most of your attention. You're a specialist. You just want to be some YouTube guy that's talking about random stuff all the time, or some car stuff that pisses you off, or do you actually want to go teach people how to work on their stuff and how to become, like from streamline from point A to point Z, how to become a journeyman mechanic, a master mechanic. Take them through that process. So I like the idea. I really do. And I think it's time for me to start looking at doing something bigger with the channel other than what I've been doing, because learning about the same stuff over and over again does start to get kind of boring at times. So I've been talking to him about that stuff, and we both think it's a good idea to start moving in that direction, because that's what most of these guys do that start to grow their platform on social media. They start to come up with their own content because they're not wanting to be part of the whole streamlined social media platform, to where you don't have say so over your content. You don't have complete rights to your content. There's rules and stuff put in place that if you break those rules, all this could just be gone and you have no say so. And maybe you didn't even do anything. Somebody just didn't like you, or somebody reported you and they didn't follow through with the complete investigation on whether it's true or not. Now your platform is completely gone. You have nothing to show for. It could happen to anybody. So with having your own website and you're the domain basically owner, nobody can do anything to you, and you can run your show how you want to run your show. So I'm thinking that's the direction that I kind of want to go here shortly, is to start working on my own website, not being on somebody else's platform, but my own platform. Yeah. I mean, it's not that I don't want to do it for free. YouTube used to be way more lucrative. I used to want to get on here and I used to want to go tear a car apart and like tell you guys everything that I found about it and stuff. And it used to be really worth it. Not anymore. It's okay. It's not like it was. Nowhere near like it was. So I have to start looking at, my time and the energy and the effort that I'm putting into stuff and what I'm getting out of it. I've met some nice friends. I've had a lot of headaches along the way as well. I've had a lot of people on here try to cause grief in my life. I've had to kick some people out of my life that I met on here because they were just absolutely batshit crazy. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to just abandon the channel. But what I want to do is I do want to focus on an alternative way of showing what my expertise is in vehicles, and like how I diagnose things, how I come up with a solution. And just maybe I buy 2012, 2013 Ford Taurus and buy one that's like extremely high miles, that needs a water pump and timing chain and everything else. I buy it for like $1,000, have it towed to the house, spend, $1,000 on timing chain and components and stuff like that, and show people how to actually do it in their driveway, how to actually pull the timing cover, the water pump, chains, guides, all that right there. Then turn around and put it all back together with good stuff. Get it all nice and serviced up. Show them how to do the PTU and the brakes and all that, and then turn around and sell the car for good money. Because it's all, and then go on to the next vehicle. Take that money from that vehicle and roll it into the next one, and buy a Ford Focus. Get that done. I've got a Sierra and a Suburban out here. Use those. There's plenty of options for customized content that people could really use. It's just a matter of the base program itself needs to take off enough to support all the custom content. So within the next year, the base program would actually have to be lucrative enough for me to say, maybe I need to start working on my own shop now. Maybe I need to start doing my own thing now instead of working for somebody else. It just all depends on how the base program goes with like the intro to mechanics, the tools and stuff that you need, actually going out to the flea markets and the garage sales and stuff like that, going on Marketplace and showing people the ins and outs of how to search for things and what to look for, how to find counterfeit this and that. You're not actually getting the real product. What's a better, anti-slip wrench and stuff like that? What would I use if I was a beginner versus somebody that's been in the field for 5 to 10 years, kind of thing. That's where I'm thinking this all should go, some way, shape, or form. Well, I think I think who's this guy? Ford Boss. Voice has a baby face. It's the Ford Boss baby face. That's who. I have a 16 F-150 with a 2.7. I might only be able to do specifics like we could work on specific engines as well. We could probably do just a different category on that, but it'd have to be like if I got a Ford Taurus or if I got a Festi or a Focus or I got a F-150, I could talk about the other options with it and try to teach off of that. But it wouldn't make much sense for me to go out and buy a completely different F-150 just to have that specific engine. Maybe we could find a used one or something on eBay, order it in, and then tear it down and show people what it looks like tearing it down. I think it'd be a great idea. For the most part, I think you guys concur. Your husband is an aircraft mechanic. We are also looking for a way to donate or low cost for the tools from retired mechanics to help new mechanics in the field. That's awesome. I mean, I could probably come up with something like that. I know there are some guys that have put like beginner toolboxes for mechanics that are getting in the field or that they spend a couple $1,000s. They put like a basic toolbox beginner kit and stuff together for a young fellow that's trying to make it. Anyhow, am I missing something here? Did my messages freeze? They did. Well, they didn't. Okay, well, I'm gonna make my way into the house and lay down and hope I don't wake the baby up and the wife up. Um, Got a little pump going. I kind of feel like I worked out a decent amount for not being able to sleep. But anyhow, I will catch you guys later. If you watch this video in the future, if you're not somebody that's here right now and you watch this video in the future, let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about the whole online program that could be more dedicated to you guys and focused on automotive without any of the other interruptions and stuff going on. And I think 10-20 bucks a month is like, if that's not a lot, and you guys are spending more than that on like your morning coffees and McDonald's and everything else, and it's to the point where I want to build custom content for you guys, and I want to be more sustenance to your guys' education and your ability to work on your vehicles than just some YouTube guy that teaches about whatever he runs across from time to time. So anyhow, I'll catch y'all later. I mean, I'll probably see you either tomorrow night or Monday morning when I'm out here working out. Next week is not a super busy week, so I might have some time to put out some videos. I got a couple product reviews. I got to do a scan tool for Ansel, and then I got to do a high-powered handheld blower for Easy Walks. But that's it. Next week is going to be pretty dead. Anyhow, I'm going inside. I'm going to lay down, close my eyes. I see y'all. See you very soon. And thank you for those of you for the donations that have donated to the families in need. I've worked this morning on and off all day trying to get the food and stuff prepared. I have an old black lady. She came by with she got her grandkids. I guess she's got custody of them. She came by and she was like, "Baby, I really appreciate this. Thank you so much for making this food and stuff for us." I gave her like 6 pounds of pulled pork, and they went immediately to the store and bought like a dollar, $2 loaf of bread, and they went home and they slapped some of that pulled pork on on the bread and squirted some Sweet Baby Ray's on it. And she said, "Oh my God, this stuff was just delicious." My kids were so happy. They were sitting there just pigging out, eating. They were so happy. And she's like, "Thank you so much for doing this." And then another lady got a hold of me and she said, "I'll come pick it up in the morning." If I said, "What I'll do is I got a big giant mailbox and it's cold enough outside. I'll leave it in the mailbox." And then another lady called, and then another guy got a hold of me, and then two more people got a hold of me, and I was like, "Oh man." Luckily, I had a few people. There was a dude on TikTok. He gave like a $40 donation. Another guy gave like a $100 donation. And then there was another, I think Robert on here. He gave like a $25 donation. I put 70 bucks in towards it. So, I mean, I've covered with what I've put into it so far, supply wise and food wise. I'm not going without. So definitely, we all pitched in and took care of it. But if it keeps going at this rate, where more and more families need help, and a lot of it's single mothers that don't have a father at all, and they're on assistance, which I feel bad for him. But then there's one guy, he's actually a single father, and he wants to come get some, he said, for his kids. So I said, "All right, I got it. I'll hook it up. I take care of y'all and feed y'all." So, yeah, it sucks what's going on with our government right now, but what are you going to do? So, all right, I'm going in. Have a great night. I love y'all. Be blessed. Take care. Yada, yada, yada. Do, 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 do.